Hello my fellow art lovers and welcome to my first official manga review. I am Eternal Art at Heart, and as you may know, I am a YouTuber that streams and records speed paints. This is a first for me, so if you can all see me, hello. And this is flipped, so I'm waving my left hand right now. So you may say it like it's really awkward. How hard is it to figure out that it's the wrong way? So I'm trying to figure that out while also recording. So I hope this is okay. So for this manga review, I've decided I'm going to look at my favourite manga of all time, the one that started my collection and the one I've continued to collect even though it's moved on to the next generation, and that's Naruto. I have picked two random volumes, one of the earlier art and one of the later art, and I'm going to go through them and tell you exactly what I think about the manga itself. So first of all, in a drawing perspective, I think that the style of Naruto is both simple yet effective. It's not the best art I have ever seen, but it's not the worst. Now for worst art I've seen, I would go with Attack on Titan, but I'll go into that in its own video. But for this, I feel like in the beginning, the art is still good, but needs room for development, whereas when you get to later chapters and later volumes, the art feels more polished, more refined, less experimental and more comfortable. And it's quite a nice change. It hasn't changed a lot. The style is still the same. The way he colours and inks is the same. But other than that, the style is now refined. And you can definitely tell this story's been going on for 15 years because of how refined it is. Now, onto a story perspective, I'm going to go into the basics of what Naruto is about before I explain anything else. Naruto is about a young boy named Naruto, this little blonde fella here, who has been shunned and hated for his entire life without knowing why. And one day he finds out that there is a fox, a demon fox, also known as the QB or the Nine-Tails Fox Spirit. Or Nine-Tails, depends on which version of the manga you're reading. I'm thinking of the Japanese anime here as well, so I'm going by them names, despite reading this. Trapped inside of his stomach in a sealed form, which his father gave him in hopes that it'll turn him into a hero, whereas it had the opposite effect. He is officially hated by everyone in the village. And as a child who was bullied and hated for being different, I strongly empathised with that. So that part of the story is what got me hooked. And it's about Naruto's ambition to be a ninja and become the Hokage, which is the strongest ninja in the village. He wants to protect the village and show everyone just what he's made of. And I love that. So this entire story follows his adventures from start to finish. From when he was a young boy to an adult. And it's really amazing because lots of things get in his way, like his friend abandoning him, his only friend, might I add, at the time, like a brother to him, abandons him, and then loads of other stuff happens, including a lot of enemies, including my absolute favourite, which is Orochimaru, as you all guessed by what's in my channel. And then he has to fight in a war to save the world he loves, despite the fact that at the time, before this event, he was hated by the world he loved. And it's about how people accepting you and you focusing so hard on your dreams could end in the best way possible if you don't give up. And that, to me, is a very inspiring message that makes it a very good and very memorable shonen manga. It explains why it's one of the cornerstones of Shonen Jump. Right, so I'll go on with why I like Naruto now, because I'm not sure how long this should go on for, and I'm not sure how long it's been going on for. It doesn't tell me. Okay, that's fair enough to know. The reason I like this manga is because originally I was told to watch it by a friend after being told that the dubbed version sucked. So I started watching the subbed version instead. Like, I'm not against dubs or subs, you can feel free to watch whatever you want. But for me, the subs were better because I couldn't tell there was voice acting mistakes because it was in a different language. And as someone who's a fast reader, I found it very easy to understand because it felt like I could read it and understand it better. I wouldn't make any mistakes with the audio. I wouldn't hear something that sounded different to what it was. It was more memorable for me. I processed words faster than I processed voice. So I watched the anime before I read the manga, and I watched the anime up until episode 400 in the Shippuden arc. Like, I watched all the filler as well. Might I add that Naruto is notorious for filler. So if you don't like filler, avoid it. Because, well, not Naruto, don't avoid Naruto, but get a filler list. Like, there's a list online where you can see which episodes are canon and which episodes are filler. And avoid all the filler if you don't like filler. Me, there was one part of the filler that I do like, and it's called Chatora, I think. And it's called the Power Series, and it's 5 episodes, and I cried. Because it was just so lovely. So if you don't like filler, don't watch it. But if you want to see a really good filler, I recommend those 5 episodes. I think it's 290 to 295, or 295 to 300, and this is in Shippuden, might I add. I'm not really sure if they're the actual episodes, though. Like I said, look for the filler list. There's a Shippuden one as well, and go through it like that. I do admit Shippuden's a lot better for its filler, but it still has too much, especially in the major battles. That is not fair. So once I got to the point in the episodes where I'd finished, like, it stopped for the time being, and they were just doing filler at this point because the manga hadn't caught up. And I just went, right, I can't be bothered with this. Sorry, there was a mint box open in the back, and it was doing my head in. I couldn't be bothered waiting for the next episodes, especially since there were filler. It was every week there was new filler, and I was just like, right, if this is how it's going to be, I'm going to the manga. And from then on, I found where I was in the anime, in the manga, and read the end of it. Because I just couldn't be bothered with it. After that, I got hooked with the series because I loved how it started, I loved how it the middle, and I loved the end. It was just great. Yes, there was plot holes. There were negative things, like the female characters could do with more development. Hinata and maybe Ino felt like the most developed. I didn't like Ino at first, but someone pointed out that she had a very wide array of jutsu, and she was actually more useful than Sakura, and that was like, huh. So it did... My opinion on Ino changed, but the best female character is Tsunade. She's mint. She is absolutely amazing, and if anybody's wondering, mint is a British slang word for awesome. But Tsunade is both power, healing, attitude. She's a strong woman. She never dates anyone, and it makes you think that not all female characters in a story need a husband or a boyfriend to be stronger. It's just a way of saying that females are stronger. No matter, they can be strong no matter who they are. They're not stronger because genetically men are stronger. Except for Tsunade, she's frightening. Even Orochimaru's like, don't get hit by her, it will kill you. Jiraiya's nearly died by her hand. But it also shows that no matter who you are, there is someone out there who is willing to be your friend and give you a chance in the world. And it's amazing because it's an uplifting message that kids need. Especially in this day and age when social media and all forms of bullying exist. As a kid who was bullied, I found this motivating, and I only figured it out as an adult. I went through my entire college years reading this manga. I annoyed my tutors with it because I'd read a book in mid-lesson. Which is a bad thing, but I have to thank an old friend from college who is no longer my... I don't really talk to him anymore, so I don't really consider him a friend anymore. He's called my acquaintance now. But he got me volume 4. He gave me his volume 4 of Naruto, and as a person with OCD and a very obsessive collector's instinct, I couldn't stop there. I had to get volume 1, 2, and 3, which I got in one of those really big, thick volumes, which have the really thin pages, but it has like 600 pages worth of the manga in it. So I got volume 1 to 3 in one of those big books, and after that I'd collect more and more, until I got all 72 volumes. And this includes Gaiden. And now I've actually got the Boruto manga, which is up there, which I will review in another video. Once I've gotten further in it, but with Naruto I finished it all, so it's worth reviewing. So I'm going to be giving them a number now, as this is my first one. I'm sorry if it's a little mismatched. I have no script, because if I read a script I wouldn't be looking at you guys, and that's just ignorant. So I'm going to be reviewing them by number now. So art will get 1 out of 10, story will get 1 out of 10, relatability will get 1 out of 10. So it's like all of that will be focused on here and in this section, and I hope this has been an interesting video. I'm really nervous, it's my first one. So I'll start now. Right, starting with the original Naruto, the beginning, I'm going to rate this side first. Art is a solid 5 out of 10. It's good art, but it could improve. It's not it's not, oh, what's the word for it? For me, it's not Black Butler levels, and Black Butler's amazing for its art. So it's a solid 5 out of 10 at first. Story-wise, as it's the beginning, it's actually building up. So to me, it's a solid 6 to 7 out of 10. Because it's building, and it's getting more and more interesting. Character designs are, at this point, Sakura and Ino haven't got the development they need, and Hinata is just the very shy introvert character who very rarely talks, and is only just starting to get out of her shell. So I'd give character designs for the females a 4 or 5 out of 10, but for the males, I'd give it a solid 6 to 7 out of 10. If not higher, because each character is different in their own way. Most of them are stereotypes, but they also are diverse from that stereotype. Like Choji, he is a larger lad who likes to eat a lot, but when he uses a specific power, he gets thin, yet he still likes to eat a lot. And to me, that kind of goes against the stereotype a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. But sometimes stereotypes are needed to signify a character's trait, like major trait. Always go against the stereotype, but don't overdo it, because then you can just confuse people. Stereotypes and cliches are here for a reason, because they're popular. So, just saying that. And I think that's it for that. I'm not sure whether I can develop any more onto that. Overall, in my opinion, this is a solid 9 out of 10 manga. But this could be because I'm obsessed with it. And now I'll go on to volume 44, or the higher level volumes, to rate it. For art, I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10, because at this point it's more clean, it's much sharper, but it's still quite simplified. But again, Dragon Ball was very simplified, and he's a genius. The Akira Toriyama is a genius. So, art-wise, it's a 7 out of 10. Story-wise, at this point, it's at very high. I'd say it's a solid 8 to 9 out of 10. Because the story is amazing. It is the stereotypes hero's journey, but it's the way it's portrayed is done so well. It's worth it. It breaks away from the stereotype by being a stereotype, because it does it so well. Characters female-wise, female character designs are at a 6 to 7 out of 10 at this point, because Tsunade upped that. But then the other characters started developing. For me, Sakura isn't a bad character anymore, because now that she has got the power and the strength and the will alongside everything that she has, to me, she feels more realistic. She's a realistic female character now, whereas before she was always obsessed with Sasuke, and it was very, very like run. It wasn't well written. I understand Kishimoto's point of trying to make her a relatable female character, but not every girl is obsessed with a guy at that age. At that age, I was obsessed with art and manga. So, yeah, I wasn't obsessed with guys or getting guys or the one popular guy in my class. The popular guy in my class was a dink. So I didn't. No. So now onto the male characters. I would give them a solid 8 to 9 out of 10, because of the fact is that the male characters are the standpoint. Like, the male characters are the main characters, really. Well, the main two males anyway, and Kakashi is awesome. Each character is different, each character has their own strengths and weaknesses, and each character is very well written and very well drawn, really. Because they're all interesting. Same with the female characters. The female characters could do with more development, but they're still good. So overall, I would give Naruto a solid 8 to 9 out of 10. For its excellent story, its excellent characters, and its very good art. So, this is my first manga review, so hopefully you guys could give me some feedback in the comments below. As someone who has a lot of manga, might I add, I have the entire set of Black Butler, I have the entire set of My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, I'm collecting Bakuman, I am in the middle of collecting Boruto, I've even got the Chibi Naruto series. I'm looking at certain mangas that I've got above that I haven't finished reading yet. I've even got the Vigilante My Hero Academia series, because My Hero Academia is that good. I wanted to try the spin-off, because my character is a vigilante, and it made sense to read that and get figure out how it worked. So if you guys want to see me review any of those mangas, please let me know. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another speed paint. Bye.